What is it that she has that made you say to yourself she is special?
She's really not special. She's only special from the sense that the Lord is using her, it appears to me, using her to bring people closer, to see that He's still alive and well, and He loves us all. And oil, to me, is a sign of His Holy Spirit. It's always the same, never changes.
On September 6, 1988, they arrived home in Damascus from the United States. The following day, September 7, 1988, they prayed before the icon with a large group of followers. Myrna had to be carried to bed. Pure olive oil came from her hands, face, and eyes. A crowd of people in the house sang the songs of Salphania. Myrna resisted her desire to rub or dig at her eyes. On this feast of the birth of Mary, Myrna expected that she might see her mother. But with the oil in her eyes, it was obvious to all that she would see Christ. The painful cleansing lasted a long time. Her restraint and acceptance of the pain was becoming heroic. The pain was just as great as always, but her resistance to it was now almost supernatural. The oil on her face and hands was so great, it was pouring off of her. All the usual priests and family were in the room. Her girlfriend, Milok, assisted her. Father Paul of Lebanon took notes. Slowly, the pain began to go away. The sounds in the room were fading. Father Maluli tried to ask her one last question. It was too late. She saw Christ bathed in light. He stood still as she left her body and moved closer to him. He spoke.
My daughter, I told you to overcome all your difficulties, and know that up till now, you have only met with a few. Tell my children, it is from them I am seeking unity. I do not want it from those who are only acting that they are working for unity. Go forth and announce this message. Wherever you are, I will be with you.
When Christ finished talking, Myrna moved away from him and back into her body. The sounds in the room were the first earthly things to come to her. Myrna has said that after seeing Christ or his mother, she always wishes that she never had to come back to this world. Father Maluli checked to see if Myrna was back yet. When she was ready, she announced the message to him. She later repeated the message while still in the white light. On October 10, 1988, Myrna and Nicole went to Lebanon. They went to the Maronite bishop and asked him to organize a mass for all the different churches to pray together for unity. He did as they requested and called all the different churches. The crowd was so large it couldn't be held inside the church. They organized it outside. During the Mass, oil came from Myrna's hands, and although we do not have it on film, She began to cry because people turned away from their prayers and paid attention to her instead of the Christ and the Mass. Later, during the same Mass, Myrna began to cry and ran away. She ran into the church crying. Inside the church, Myrna went into an ecstasy. Oil began pouring down the legs of Christ onto Myrna. She was having a vision of Christ.
My daughter Mary, why are you afraid while I'm with you? You should speak at the top of your voice the word of truth about your Creator, so that my power will be seen in you. I will give you from my wounds to make you forget the sufferings people cause you. Don't choose your own path, because I have already traced it for you.
Here, Father Maululi, on November 26, 1988, is amazed at the amount of oil on Myrna. This is the 6th anniversary of the Miracle of Damascus. So much oil came from Myrna's face and hands, the people brought their copies of the icon to her and rubbed the oil off her face and hands onto their icons. The house was decorated for the Feast of Sophania, and thousands of people came to the evening prayer session. Myrna's face had an angelic look, but her eyes were on fire. Father Maululi assisted her, and the people continued to take the oil. Myrna had another vision. She saw a ball of light with the figure of a man inside. It was Christ.
My children, is everything you do for love of me? Do not say, what shall I do? Because that is my work. You must fast and pray, because by prayer you face my truth and bear all the blows. Pray for those who forgot the promise they made to me, because they will say, why didn't I feel your presence, Lord, when you were with me? All I want is that you all gather together in me, as I am in each one of you. As for you, my daughter, I shall leave you. Do not be afraid if you do not hear my voice for a long time. Be strong, and may your tongue be a sword which speaks in my name. Be sure I am with you, and with all of you.
While still in light, Myrna passed on the message from Christ. She answered all the questions that she was asked. Father Zahlawi, Father Boulos, and Father Alam were curious to learn about the details of her vision. They asked if he appeared as light or if he looked like a man. She said that he appeared as a powerful source of light inside another light, but that he had the figure of a man made of light.